Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about whether you will move to a new location, change your address in 2024 or not. And I have 4 groups that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, and this will be group number 4. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then just head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group and click on that, and your readings should appear in front of you. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. I love doing personal readings for you guys. It's always a pleasure. So please check that out. But let's focus on this reading right here. Choose your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose the Wonderland Tarot. And I'm going to start with some channeling and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? Will group number 1 move in 2024? Will they change their address? Will they move to a new location in 2024? I'm sensing it's a no. But I feel like you're still, like some of you might move in spirit, or like not just in spirit, but you're going to mentally move somewhere and maybe also physically move somewhere, but it's not going to be official. Like you're not officially going to change your address to a new address, but I feel like in 2024 there is going to be a lot of back and forth from one place to another. And so I feel like you're going to gain like a second home somewhere where you're going to feel very comfortable as well, where you're going to maybe have some of your stuff there, maybe a lot of your stuff there, and you're going to, you know, drive back and forth or whatever, and maybe you're going to be in this place like half of the time in 2024, or at least half of the time in the second half of 2024. I don't know if it's, but I feel like for some of you, maybe it's even going to be earlier than that, because I feel like some of you might already have an arrangement that is similar to what I'm explaining. So maybe you already have a second home at the moment. Maybe you had a second home in 2023 where you were like, you know, going back and forth from one house to the other. And I don't know if this is your partner's home, like your boyfriend or girlfriend's home, or if it's maybe your parents' house that you have been like, you know, living at for half the time, or like for some of the time, and maybe in 2024 you're maybe going to wonder if it's time to maybe change that or something. But I think you're going to come to the conclusion that this arrangement is good for all parties. Like you're going to be happy with this arrangement. You're going to be happy with this feeling of having 2 homes, because it is a luxury to have 2 places that you call home, that you feel comfortable at. Most people only get 1. And so to have 2 places is a great thing, even though it's maybe your parents' house that's the second place. But even then, like a lot of people don't have a very good relationship with their parents. So to have that is also a luxury and should not be taken for granted, because it is one of those things that I feel like is not really appreciated that much in the modern society as it should be, to have a family sticking together. I feel like it's a beautiful thing. I think in a way, I think it's the most natural thing for a family to stick together. I think it's even, ideal for parents and children and even grandparents to live under the same roof. But I know that it's a very, well, I think it's gonna be more normal in the future than it is right now. I think the bubble is starting to burst. Like, people are starting to realize that this is more important. I think there is starting to become more focus on the family and the mental health of the family together as a unit. That sometimes mental health issues can come because we're not together. We're not together with the people that we're actually comfortable around and who knows us in a more deep way. And it can I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I feel like this happened a lot after the pandemic. I think people started to realize how important family actually is and how lonely a person can become when one sees themselves as like an outsider of the family. And of course, sometimes it's not even something we have much control over. And I'm sorry that I have this whole speech where maybe some of you will feel like this is maybe painful to hear, because maybe you don't have that with your parents or your family. So I'm sorry if this doesn't resonate with all of you, and those of you where it doesn't resonate, it might open a wound, and I'm not trying to do that. But I just feel like some of you maybe live with your parents and are maybe ashamed of it and embarrassed that you live with your parents. Maybe you feel like it's one of those things where the society has looked down on that and frowned upon it. And I'm just here to say that it's like, if you're embarrassed of it, don't be, because we only get one life. And if you like spending time with your parents, if you find it to be the best part of the day to spend time with your parents, watch some television with your parents and have some great conversations with your parents, that shouldn't be something to feel bad about. Because, well, yeah, how is it better for you to rot in an apartment on your own if you're actually the most happy when you're with your family? So I just wanted that message to come out to those who feel embarrassed, because really you shouldn't be. And so for others of you where this is not about your family or your parents' house or whatever, then I feel like maybe this is going to be your boyfriend or girlfriend's house. And even if that is the case, then still remember that it's good to have two places. It's good to have a second home. And of course, you might feel like you have to move in with your boyfriend or girlfriend, that it's maybe time to move in, that maybe it doesn't make sense to have two places and to, pay rent for two places when you are basically living together already. I feel like it's still maybe a good idea to just have your place still in 2024. Maybe in 2025 you could get your own place together with this person. I feel like it's more important that you two get a place where you both find the place together. You're not. like I think moving into another part. I know you've probably, like, if this is relationship talk, like if we're talking about a relationship here, if you're in a relationship right now with a person that you have been with for a long time, or that you trust completely, then yeah, it makes sense to move in with each other, or move in. But moving into this person's place could make this person feel like, well, you're moving in, so you have to adapt. That the rules have kind of been set, so you just have to, follow the rules. Where if you get a place together, it will be more equal. And I think that is maybe important for you to have that equality in the relationship. And also just it, so I'm suggesting that you wait until maybe 2025 to move in with this person. And also because it's just nice to have your own place that you can retreat to. Because I think I think it's good to set those boundaries in some way where you're not just gonna let this person just, I don't know. I feel like I feel like you should wait. And I think you're also gonna come to that same conclusion yourself, after outweighing the pros and cons, after really thinking about what to do in 2024. I think you're going to come to the same conclusion, that maybe it is good to wait until next year. So I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say about your living situation in 2024. With the Eight of Wands and Eight of Pentacles, I think there is going to be someone who is going to maybe, maybe ask you to move in. And this could be your partner or future partner. If you're going to find someone, if you're single right now, you might find someone in 2024, and this person might be really, really quick to want to, have you move in. Like that, it's a little bit too early, I think, and I think you're going to feel that way too. And if this is about something else than a relationship, then it could be your parents who are maybe, like, if you have been living half of the time at your parents' house for a year or something like that, if you've been kind of going back and forth from your own place, and maybe you're not even home that much because you spent most of your time at your parents' house or something like that, then I think your parents might suggest that, well, you could just move in, like, instead of paying for an apartment that you rarely use, you could just move in, and that would be fine. So I think someone is going to maybe ask you to change your current living situation and ask you to change your address. But I think you're gonna be on the brakes here. You're gonna say, like, no, you want to have your own place. You want to have a space that you can call home, just in case. Also in case of if you suddenly see yourself in some kind of dispute with someone, like maybe it's nice to have a place that could be like a rescue place, like an escape room in a way, where you could escape to if things don't work out. And usually if you have an escape room, you never use it, and you're never gonna use it, because it's just the fact that you invest a lot of money into something. You're not gonna but if you don't have an escape room, then something's gonna happen. Like, that's just the irony of the universe. It's just how things are. I'm not saying that if you get rid of your apartment, or if you move to your parents or move to your boyfriend or girlfriend, that you're gonna want, or that you're gonna need an escape room. I'm not saying, well, maybe I think I don't think anything bad is gonna happen, but I think you're gonna maybe feel like there's a lot at stake, and I think it's a mental thing. Like, it's when we don't have a place to escape to, everything seems so serious. Like, everything needs to work out because you've made the decision to move in with someone, and so it has to work out. And so, like, when so much pressure is on a relationship, then the relationship will have a harder time because of the pressure, because it puts, I think there is much less pressure on a relationship when you're not living together, when you're not really completely intertwined into each other's lives in such a demanding way. I don't know. With the Eight of Pentacles, it's someone who is collecting oysters from from a surface, and collecting them in like well, what I'm getting here is that I think you're gonna have to maybe also work a little bit before making a decision to move somewhere. Like, maybe collect some money first, like maybe save some money up could be a good idea. Like, maybe if you feel like things are maybe if you feel it's going to be less expensive to move in 2024, like if you feel like your apartment or your place right now is just eating up your money for no reason, that could be. But remember that maybe it's also well, if that's the case, then then scratch the part about saving money, because the saving money part is mostly if moving is a more expensive option for you. But if moving is a less expensive option for you in 2024, then I feel like it might be a good motivational factor to have an apartment that you have to pay for, even if you don't spend that much time there. It's like it might motivate you to work harder, work more hours, and I don't know, and it doesn't sound like that's very good though, but it could be one of those things where you feel like you can't just slack off. And maybe that's, I don't know why that would be a good thing to not like if the option, for instance, is to move to your parents' house, and get rid of your apartment downtown and just move in with your parents. Your parents might be the kindest people on earth, and for some of you they might not be, but I don't know, but they might just offer you to stay there like for free, and that you don't have to pay anything or something, but it might be less motivating. It might cause you to feel like you don't have to work so hard because you don't really need the money, because you live there for free. I know this is only gonna apply to some of you, and I know it's very specific, but in case that resonates with you, I just feel like maybe keep the apartment just as motivation to keep moving, to keep working, so that you don't stagnate too much. I don't know. And but if it's like, maybe also moving is expensive, so if moving is a more expensive option, like if you're not moving to your parents' house but moving to another person's house, or like getting a new place or whatever, if that's the case, then maybe moving is more expensive than not moving. And in that case, I think it's better to just save the money, and then you can get to a point where when you actually when you actually make the decision to move, you will have more money, and that might be good. I don't know why, but yeah. So I'm gonna shuffle some of these Gypsy Oracle cards just to get a little bit more information on your living situation in 2024. Merchant reversed. So merchant is a trader, like, or someone who trades, not a traitor, but trader, and someone who trades something for something else. And I guess with this being reversed, I don't think you're gonna trade something for something else. Like, I think you're gonna stay at where you are, because trading one good thing for another is just pointless, because at the moment I think you're in a situation where it's not broken. So don't fix it. Don't fix things that aren't broken. Stay in your situation, the situation that you're in right now. If you don't really have a problem with it, if you wake up every day and kind of feel like it's okay, like things are all right as they are. If you feel that way about it, then there's maybe no point in trading it out for something else, especially because maybe trading it out for something else might not really make you happier. Like, if you move somewhere else, it might be the same kind of thing. Like, you would just be, adapting to a new environment for no reason, like, and having to do all the paperwork and stuff like that. And maybe also, I just feel like it's maybe more of a hassle than it's worth. So I think that's a merchant is also someone who, travels for trade. And yeah, I feel like you're gonna not travel away. Maybe you have thought about, moving to somewhere that could be a little bit exotic, like somewhere completely new, a new country or something like that. If you have, I think that's I think that's unlikely that you're going to do that in 2024. I think you're going to stay in your local area mostly in 2024. So I think that's all I have for you. Group number 1, I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Aleister Crowley's Tarot. And I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? Will group number 2 change their location, change their address in 2024? Will they move to a new place in 2024? Okay, I'm sensing that you are. I'm sensing you are going to move. It's a yes. And I think you're going to have everything thought through. You're going to have everything figured out. So this is not going to be a spontaneous decision. This is going to be something that you have really organized over a few months. You're going to, like maybe even a half year, like you're going to have a lot of time to organize this, and you're going to feel like when the day comes and you have to move from your place, you're going to feel very prepared to do so. So it's going to feel very organized and very preppy, and I think it's going to be good. I think I'm really having a good feeling about this. That I think this move is going to change your life for the better. I feel like you're going to be able to breathe in a way, like, and I think you're going to feel better at this new place, mostly because of the location. I think you're going to live somewhere close to like a park or something, or a big forest or something, and you're going to be able to get more in touch with nature and go for long walks in nature. And like, I'm just sensing that it's going to be different from where you live right now. You're going to feel more comfortable going out for a run, for instance, in a park or something, like where maybe now you feel like it's a little bit awkward to go out for a run, maybe because you live in the center of a city, and maybe living in the center of a city makes it a little bit awkward to go for a run because, you know, there are people walking, and maybe a lot of people walking around, and maybe you're also afraid of, you know, running into someone that you know. And like, it might be different where you live right now, where you might feel a little bit like you're stuck in your place, like it's a little bit awkward to go out because you never know who you're going to run into. And maybe it would be nice to go somewhere where you can be kind of like a stranger. And I think you could get that from moving. And I feel like you're also going to maybe get a little bit in touch with your roots, where you where you come from originally, or maybe where you grew up as a child. I don't know if you're thinking of moving back to your old town, or your hometown, you know. But I think, like, I don't know. I think this is a good decision. And I feel like maybe you're going to live in a smaller place, but still it's going to feel bigger because you're going to be able to go out. You're going to be able to walk around. So getting into a smaller place will give you a lot more freedom, even though it sounds, like the opposite, but it's going to feel more free. You're going to feel like you're more free to be who you want to be. But I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say about your living situation in 2024. Well, with the Five of Pentacles, it says worry on this card here, and maybe there will be some worries, and of course worries can be very constructive. Worrying is what makes people organized. It's what makes people plan out the future, because people are, extremely afraid that something is going to go wrong, or afraid of the worst case scenario. So they get very preppy. And I think you're going to maybe get very preppy about this, start planning things out of the fear that things might go sideways. And at the end of the day, I actually think this is going to cause this move to be more smooth and more like smooth sailing, much more tangible in a way, where it's going to feel more real, because you're going to have every step of the way figured out before you do it. And maybe at least like maybe a few months before you move, you're going to have it all figured out, so that when the day comes, like you're going to have had maybe 3 months where you've just been able to manifest what it's going to be like to live there, because that I think you're going to have some time to just lay back, relax, and wait for this to happen. And of course that could also make you feel a little bit worried, because when you're very prepared for something, it's like with an exam, like when you're going to an exam and you like, I don't really know this, because I don't think this has ever happened to me, but I can imagine that people who are very good at preparing for exams might have, gotten all the stuff done a month before the exam, like in a best case scenario. I guess some people might do that, and then like they might end up worrying for a whole month because they don't really know what to do with themselves, because they have already done the thing, or like they've already written the paper, and now they just have to wait for them to be able to talk about it at the exam. I don't know, but it might also cause you to worry, to like if you're too prepared too early, it might make you worry that there's something that you haven't thought of, something that you might have missed, like some paperwork that you haven't thought of. Like maybe this has happened to you before in the past, that you might have signed up for something and then realized afterwards that you should have, I don't know, checked one box that you didn't check, and then the whole thing was invalid because of that. And maybe you're afraid of that happening again. But the Five of Pentacles also, it suggests that you could feel a little bit like an outsider And that's very usual. Like when you move to a new place, you're always going to feel like the outsider at first. You're going to feel like a stranger. You're going to feel like you don't really belong there because everybody else seem to know each other and you're the one left out because you haven't gotten to know all your neighbors and they have known each other for years. Like it will always make you feel like they have a club going on and you're not invited. But I think that's just the first months or so, or maybe the first half year when you move to this new place, like that it's and when you meet these new people, like it's gonna feel that way at first, but I think it's gonna change over time. You're gonna feel more comfortable. But with the Queen of Wands reversed, it also makes sense to me that this card is going to describe you and your living situation in 2024. And I think it's because maybe you used to be a Queen of Wands. Maybe you used to be a little bit more spontaneous and impulsive in the past, and maybe it has caused you to be the opposite of that, because it has maybe gotten you into some trouble, that you feel like sometimes you have forgot about things or left things behind, or gotten to maybe you used to be the type of person who would forget your computer at the bus, like in the bus, or at the bus station or something, and then you might have cussed yourself out for not being careful enough, or not really not really double checking that you had everything. And maybe you've come to a point now where you double check everything and you triple check everything. And I think this is both a good thing and a bad thing, but I feel like in a way this is a good thing. I think because I feel like it's going to be what's going to really help you in this move is going to be this triple checking, that you're going to triple check everything. You're going to read all the papers 3 times before you sign anything. And I think you're also going to go on Google Maps and go through all the routes to where all the routes that you're going to take daily. You're going to kind of memorize them, maybe by using Google Maps or something, so that you don't end up getting lost somewhere. Or maybe you're going to check the parking situation for all the different locations that you're imagining that you could get into. Maybe you're going to check the parking situation at the doctor's office that you're going to be using when you move. Or maybe you're going to use it in the future, in the far out in the future. So maybe you're just going to check everything, and I think that's good. And it's good because I think it's going to make you feel like you have that you have everything under control. So in a way, I think it's all gonna be okay. It's gonna be but maybe when you move first, try to pay attention to whether this is gonna go, whether you're gonna go overboard with this, because if you have OCD tendencies, I know I do. So I know when I first moved to my first apartment, I got kind of obsessed with security, making sure that everything was turned off all the time so that there wasn't going to be a fire. And I triple checked whether the door was locked, and I did that every hour or so, just to make sure that it was locked, and checked the oven, checked the everything, checked the toaster. I even got like a panic attack over, whether I had turned the toaster off, and if the toaster was on, it's not gonna, it's not really a fire hazard on its own, unless like there's something close to it. Like it wouldn't catch fire on its own. So it was a little bit like an obsession with security and obsession with not starting a fire. And I don't know, maybe, and I didn't even have like I didn't have a trauma from the past. Like I've never even experienced a fire. And I shouldn't say that, because now now I've jinxed it, and now there's probably going to be a fire, so I'm going to be knocking on some wood, and but the thing is that, well, that's probably also an OCD thing, but whatever. But maybe make sure that you don't, maybe try to stop yourself in doing too much of the checking, because things are gonna work themselves out. You're not gonna not gonna start a fire in your new place, and you're not going to get robbed just because you forgot to lock the door or something, because you're not going to you're not going to forget to lock the door, and if you do, you're not going to, it's very unlikely for someone to break in by because you forgot to lock the door. Because if there was someone who was going to break into your apartment, that person wouldn't let that stop them, that the door is locked. Like that usually doesn't stop a burglar. So even that, I don't know where I'm going with that, because that's not very reassuring, but I think you all also know that. So but yeah, I don't know. But I think it's gonna be good to move though, for you. I feel like a good vibe, a positive vibe. Even though these cards here, it's maybe not the most positive cards in the world, but I do feel like it's always a little bit hard to move at first, because you have to adapt to the new place, and adaptation is always it can always seem like, sometimes it just can be a little bit overwhelming to move, but I still feel like it's going to be a good thing for you. So, but I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say. With the Three of Discs, Three of Pentacles, I feel like you're actually gonna, when you get comfortable in your new place, you're actually gonna feel more at home in your new place than you do in the place that you live right now. I think you're gonna get to a point where you can actually concentrate more, where you're gonna feel like you can actually study better, or if you're planning on studying, I think this new place is gonna be a good place for studying. But also, if you're not planning on studying, then I just feel like it's going to be easier for you to concentrate on a book, on reading a book. It's going to feel a lot less demanding or a lot less distracting. Like there's not going to be that many distractions around you. I feel like you're going to live in a place where there's going to be relatively silent, or not that much. Not that. I feel like maybe there's going to be some noise, maybe from a, maybe from a road or something like that. But I think it's going to end up feeling a little bit like white noise for you, where it's not going to be something that distracts you, but maybe even something that soothes you, like makes you actually more calm, if that makes sense. Where I feel like in your place right now, I feel like you get distracted, but you get maybe mostly distracted by people who are being annoying or playing music or talking very loudly or something like that. And maybe you're gonna trade that out for a more quiet place where, yeah, maybe there's gonna be a noise from outside, but it's gonna be noise where you can't really blame somebody. And I think that's the best type of noise, is the noise that like where you know what noise it is, where the noise comes from. If it's the road, then it's the cars that drive by, that. So the noise is not like something that is like, a mystery. I feel like mystery noises are the worst. And then like after that, the second worst is noises from people. Like, and then the third is noises from vehicles or something like that where it's of course usually humans that run it, but it's not that terrible. But mystery noises are the worst, because like if there's like a banging somewhere, where like there's a banging noise and you just don't know where it's coming from, or like who's causing it or what is causing it, like that shit can run numbers with you. But it's I think you're gonna be in the clear, because I feel like you're gonna have a very quiet place where, yeah, it's just gonna be maybe cars, maybe airplanes once in a while or something, but not something that is annoying, like no annoying noises. Nothing that gets under your skin, So but I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about how this new place is going to be like what's the new place going to be like. Well, with the 7 of Pentacles, it says failure. And the thing is, well, why would that be a failure? I'm going to ask for a clarifying card on this. Like what is this failure card about? Also, I feel like 7 of Pentacles isn't really failure. I wouldn't see that card as failure, but I do respect Aleister Crowley and his take on this. But But I'm gonna ask for a clarifying card on failure, 7 of Pentacles. Because to me, it's more, the problem is more of like a fear of missing out. That is like I feel like maybe the problem that you're gonna have with moving is maybe that you're gonna have a hard time coming to terms with the fact that maybe things are gonna start, evolving, developing in the place that you live right now. Like maybe right now you're gonna want to escape the place that you live in because of certain things, like certain things that bother you. Like maybe right now you just feel like you can't live where you live right now because of all the distractions, all the problems maybe, or maybe you just feel like there are a lot of things that bother you. And maybe when you move, you're gonna maybe keep in touch with someone who lives in your current place, and this person might tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. Like they might tell you that things are so much better right now, that the noise is gone, or that one of the noisy neighbors decided to move, and so now there's not like banging music all the time. Like there's not like techno music all every day, and like, so maybe you're gonna feel like that's annoying to hear now that you've made this big move, this big adaptation to a new place. It's not fun to hear that maybe the main reason why you decided to move in the first place has been somehow eliminated, and it's so I feel like that's more how I see the Seven of Pentacles, as a fear of missing out, and maybe feeling like maybe you took a decision that or you have or that maybe you should have waited, or maybe you should have there's maybe also going to be a feeling of maybe you should have waited a little bit, but that you might also have that you should have moved away earlier, and that it could be both. I'm not saying that it's necessarily one or the other. I feel like maybe you have right now you're maybe at a point where you're at your breaking point. You're getting so annoyed with your current place that it's hard for you to focus. Maybe you have a hard time concentrating. Maybe you even feel like this has ruined some of your chances. Like maybe you were studying before but had to drop out because you couldn't concentrate, or maybe you have a job where you feel like you haven't been maybe performing in the best way, maybe because you haven't been able to sleep at night because of the noise or because of something that was happening. And so maybe you blame your current place for a lot of the things that have gone wrong in your life. And so maybe moving away is past due. Like you feel like it's something that should have happened a long time ago, a few years ago. And I think when you move, you're still going to feel that way. But when you hear that things are starting to look up, you're maybe going to feel like you should have moved earlier, but you should have also waited. But maybe if you had moved earlier and had a few years living in peace somewhere, then you could have still kept your studying or your work going, and then you could have decided to move back when things were starting to look up again. And so maybe you're going to feel like it's still one of the I don't know, but so in a way it's going to feel like a failure, but it's either a failure because you're going to feel like it's better now than it was when you lived there, or that it's a failure because you should have done this a long time ago. But I'm going to shuffle. I'm not going to clarify the card. I'm just going to shuffle a little bit more about this new place, how it's going to feel living there in the new place that you're going to live in 2020 for oppression reversed. That's good. It's 10 of Swords reversed. So, sorry, it's 10 of Wands reversed. It just looks a little bit like swords if you look at it. And the Wands, it's very faded. So, yeah, if you look at it, there are these spears. And Britney Spears. Britney. Well, if you live with your parents right now, then moving away could be a little bit like, you know, breaking free from something that was oppressing, like Britney Spears. I'm just going with the Britney Spears association. I don't know why that came through, and I'm kind of humoring it just for the heck of it. But maybe so maybe it's going to feel very good to be free, but still there might, like, maybe you're going to feel like, well, that it's maybe a little bit hard to be on your own as well. Like, that maybe I don't know. But if you're not living with your parents, and I don't think this is about you, I feel like this is mostly a message for those of you who have been living with your parents and are moving out to live on your own. I think maybe there could be some similarities to you and and Britney Spears. I don't know, but like that maybe. I don't even know what the similarities could be, what this comparison is about. It could be about you feeling like right now you're in a little bit of a conservatorship, or something like that. That you feel like you're being watched over, and that you're looking forward to having more freedom to do the things that you want to do. But and maybe you're also going to feel that way, like right at first, but maybe you're also going to feel like there was something nice about being with your parents, even though they might have had a lot of bad sides to them and might have been quite controlling. Maybe you're also going to miss some parts of it. I don't know. But yeah, this card also, if we go away a little bit away from the Britney Spears thing, because this card came out reversed too, so it would like, and I don't know what it, like maybe it's a reversed Britney Spears, like maybe it's nothing like Britney Spears, like if it's reversed, and like maybe. I don't know. This is a dead end. I know it, and I can tell. So, 10 of Wands reversed. I feel like, yeah, you're gonna actually feel free from oppression. You're gonna feel like you're not being kept down, and you're gonna feel like there's less of a workload, that you're like, it could also be like the opposite of the, like, or it could be like the Cinderella story, you know, going, or like or that you might feel like at the moment you're being kind of taken advantage of by your family or the person that you live with right now. Maybe you're thinking of moving away from someone who who has like who relies too much on you and takes advantage of you, and maybe moving away from this energy will actually put you free and cause you to actually be able to make your own decisions. Like you can decide whether you're gonna, you know, whether you're gonna do what you're going to do in the day. Like you can have your own structure, your own plan for the day. You're not going to have to adapt to somebody else's schedule. With a 10 of Cups reversed, well, I feel like even though this is going to set you free, you're going to feel much more free to do whatever. You're going to feel like you can concentrate again. You can do the things that you enjoyed doing in the past, but that you've felt like you couldn't really do because of the circumstances, the surroundings, the people around you, maybe making it very hard for you to, you know, follow your path and make room for you to do the things that you want to do. Or like maybe there's a passion project that you've been thinking of doing, but you feel like you can't do it where you live right now because it's too noisy or it's too hard to be yourself around these people. And maybe you're also afraid that people are going to hear you do some, like if you like to sing or do some you know, do some samples of music and post it on the internet or something like that, then maybe you feel like where you live right now there are too many people who know you and who would maybe listen and eavesdrop on you and like listen at the door, and it would maybe make you feel like you couldn't really do it in a way that would like make you comfortable. And maybe you've also thought about doing videos, other types of videos where you talk just in front of a camera, and maybe you feel like you can't even do that because you're afraid that people are going to listen in on you. And maybe this is going to set you free like this move is going to set you free. It's going to make you feel like you can actually do the things that you feel is right for you. But it might also be a lonely path where maybe you're going to feel a little bit lonely at first, especially if you're moving on your own, where you're going to live alone. It might make you feel like, yes, you have all the freedom to do whatever you want, and that's great. And it's good for your career, it's good for your studies, it's good for your development as a person, and it's good for everything but your social life. Like it might cause your social life to have a little bit of a decrease in intensity, I guess. So, and this could also be like if you have been living with your family, maybe moving away from your family, could be like a bittersweet kind of feeling where it's good, but it's also a little bit sad to get so far away from them or something. But I feel like ultimately, like it's gonna be a growing experience. It's gonna create growth in you as a person, and I think it's gonna make you understand better who you are and what makes you you. Because sometimes we need to get into hermit mode to really do the introspection that we need in order to figure out where we belong in the world and what we can do and how to use our talents in a way that can get us to the point in life that we want to be in or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's good. But of course a little bit bittersweet. But yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Hugleikur Dagsson's playing cards. It's not a tarot deck, it's just playing cards. But I'm going to read it as a tarot deck. And I also feel like Hugleikur probably should make a tarot deck at some point. I hope he will. So yeah, but as of now, I'm gonna have to use the playing cards. So yeah, these all have images on them. So it is a pictorial deck. So not just average playing cards, but yeah, I'm gonna start with some channeling and then I'm gonna shuffle the cards for you. So I'm gonna do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3? Will group number 3 move to a new location in 2024? Will they change their address in 2024? I'm sensing it's a yes. I think you're gonna move to a new location. I don't think it's far away from your current location though. So I think it's more like more like upscaling or something like that, where maybe right now you live in a slightly small place and maybe you'd like to move to something a little bit bigger. I don't know. But I think you're gonna succeed at that. I think you're gonna find a place that is more suited for you, something that seems, you know, something that might even be bigger but less expensive somehow. So maybe it's gonna be upscaling, but also, you know, at a fairer price. Maybe right now you live somewhere that's quite small but expensive. Maybe it was because it was the first thing that you could get on such short notice or something like that, where maybe you got stuck with a too expensive apartment just because you were too, you know, too late in the game, that you made the decision too late and then you just had to jump on every opportunity that presented itself to you. And I think maybe this was not your first priority, but it was, you know, all right. And so I think I think that is how you live right now. I think you're living in a place that you're maybe not completely happy with. You have been wanting to move, I feel like, for a while. Maybe you also find this place to be a little bit less up to date, or like maybe not very modern. Maybe it also has some, you know, squeaky floors. Not that that's an issue, but maybe you feel like it's a little bit too squeaky, and that it does suggest that maybe it is a little bit too old, or that there are some other, maybe there are also some other things that bother you a little bit, like maybe with the plumbing, maybe with the hot water not being, you know, always that hot, you know, and maybe it's also the isolation. Maybe it gets really, really hot in the summer and really, really cold in the winter. And maybe it's just, you know, not ideal. And so I think the plan to move is a good one. And I think you're also going to be happier in the new place. And I think you're maybe also going to be closer to, you know, some family members, or maybe closer to some friends or something. But I feel like socially it's also going to be a good decision to move. Okay, with the 8 of Pentacles, it says crime here. But, well, 8 of Pentacles is not a crime. It's like, if it's a crime to work hard, it's, well, okay. That's where the imagery is not fitting for the tarot, obviously, but it is kind of close sometimes, but in this card it really doesn't make sense. But this is someone who's downloading, well, it's a person who's downloading movies off the internet. And the crime is also, you know, an ironic crime. It's ironically, it's not really a crime, but, you know, or it is a crime to steal things off the internet, but it's not really a crime like, you know, stabbing someone. But, you know, but with this card being 8 of Pentacles, I'm gonna mostly just read it as 8 of Pentacles. It suggests that you're gonna have some work. Maybe even from home, maybe. Like maybe some counseling work where you can do it from home, or something similar to that. And maybe this move is even going to make it more fruitful, because I don't know why, but I feel like you're maybe going to be more concentrated in this new place. Maybe you're also going to feel like the environment is a little bit more healthy, that you can breathe a little bit better, and that you also will maybe feel like you can get more job done. And maybe there's also going to be some more job opportunities in this new place, or around this new place, where maybe you're going to be moving closer to your current job or closer to your future job. But either way, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to be closer to your job. And if you're gonna work from home, you're going to be very close to your job. So obviously, but I'm going to move on to like a little. Well, okay. So with the work being reversed, but again, it's the irony of these words, these random words, the irony of them it's a little bit problematic, because the work is ironic, again, because it's someone who's, you know, going through the trash. So it's not it is work. It takes work to go through the trash, but it's reversed. So it's like, I'm just going to stick with the imagery, I think. The imagery is someone who's going through trash, and it's reversed. So you're not going to be going through trash. You're gonna upscale. You're not going to be homeless. You're not going to be living in a shelter. You're going to live in an actual house, an apartment somewhere that yeah. Somewhere clean too. It's going to feel more clean maybe than your current place. Maybe because old apartments can have like certain parts of them that, like, even though they are clean and there's nothing wrong with living there could still be like something living in the walls, like, you know, or some fungus, or, you know, some mold or something. I don't know, but it's always the risk of moving somewhere like moving in an old apartment. I live in an old apartment where there's probably mold, probably even black mold. I just can't see it because it's probably in the walls. I don't know. But it could also not, like, there could not be that, like, and it just because a place is old, it doesn't have to be like as like toxic or a safety hazard. A lot of good buildings have been built in their prime, you know, where now a lot of modern apartments also have issues. So it really depends on, you know, the project, like whether the person who starts the project of like building an apartment building or apartment complex, how much money that person is willing to put into that project. So I guess you could always but I feel like in this new place that you're going to move into, it's going to be better though, even though, like, I'm just saying all this so that you don't see me as, you know, offensive to old buildings, because I have respect for old buildings. I'm living in one, so it's not like that, but yeah. So with the Three of Pentacles here reversed, it's also Three of Pentacles. And so what I'm getting with this is that I feel like when you move to a new place, maybe there will be some social groups that you will get a little bit detached from. Like, for instance, your neighbors. If you have neighbors that you're close to, maybe moving away from them will be slightly sad to move away from a place. And maybe there are also, you know, friends who live very close to you who will feel like it's kind of uphill to have to, you know, walk over to you, that maybe there's a big hill that will separate you and make it a little bit harder for this person to come visit. So I feel like your social life, it will increase in some areas and maybe decrease in some other areas. Like you will be with other people and maybe lose contact to some people. But you win some and you lose some. So, but I'm gonna shuffle some more cards about will you move in 2024. Okay, so King of Swords and Nine of Swords. With the Nine of Swords, it says youth here. First of all, let's focus on the word, even though the word is like ironic to the picture. So I'm going to start with the word. The word youth being, well, maybe an omen that moving in 2024 will make you feel a little bit more like you're getting in touch with some nostalgia, like something from your something from your past, something that you have left behind. Maybe some friends, like maybe you'll get more in touch with some friends from your past, someone who will maybe live closer by, who will come around and say hello and come visit you, and you might visit them. And so it might it might open up for a new rekindling of an old friendship. But there's also a woman here with a child, a baby, and diapers, a box of diapers here, and the toddler here. I guess for some of you, this move could make it more possible for you to get pregnant. Maybe because you're going to meet someone, maybe a King of Swords, maybe a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. A man or a woman, but there's an energy of someone who's, a little bit like a very intelligent person, a little bit controlling, but in a way where this person knows what they are talking about, so they can get very, very persistent on getting their point across when they think they are very right about something, and when they're probably also not that they don't have a hard time telling people if people are wrong about something. This person is quite blunt and maybe a little bit rude sometimes, or maybe people can sometimes misinterpret this person for being rude or trying to be rude or whatever. But I think this person is more focused on, being right than being kind. More focused on the accuracy of the knowledge and the information that's being shared, that it's so important that it's accurate, that it doesn't really matter if somebody gets hurt, because this person finds accuracy to be the most important thing. That it's like that misinformation is what's ruining the world. And I think this person makes a very good point in that, but in a way I feel like the way this person does it is maybe not that justifiable. But this person is very smart, and I think the thing is that if this person is wrong, they will be the first one to, admit that and tell people that they were wrong. Like, this is someone who's gonna try really hard to get the word out. If they find out that they have been spreading misinformation to people, they will really make sure that they get it right, or make it right again, and they could even make a Facebook post where they're gonna just say that to anyone that I've told that whatever happened in that Stalin did this on this date, whoever I have told this to, I have realized now that I was wrong about the date, that the date was actually a month after that, and that I was wrong and you were all right, and I'm sorry. And this person could do something like that. I know it's very specific, so don't rule. If you meet someone who hasn't made a Facebook post like that, it doesn't mean that you haven't met the right person. It means that, what I'm trying to say is that this person is the type of person who would go to those extremes to make sure that misinformation gets fixed, so that because this person is so I think this person just really wants everything to be right, correct, accurate. I don't know. This imagery, I'm sorry to admit it, I don't understand what's going on in this card. I don't even know who the mighty Bjornbar is. Maybe I should research about it, I don't know. But from what I can see on the card, it's a naked man who's running after a black cat with a sword. And so what I'm getting at is that maybe you're going to meet someone when you move to this new place in 2024. And this person could, well, maybe be a dog person. So, yeah, look out for a dog person. So, but maybe you're like, maybe you could all, like, there might be something that you need to figure, like if you have a cat right now, maybe if you have a landlord, or if you're going to get a landlord, another landlord in 2024, maybe make sure that you have the conversation with them beforehand, whether it's okay to have a cat. Maybe it's not something that you should keep hidden. Even though, of course, if you keep it hidden, then there's a better chance that your landlord is never going to know, and that it's going to be okay to have the cat. And of course, if you don't tell your landlord that you have a cat, then they won't be looking for a cat. You know, if you tell your landlord that you have a cat, and they say to you that you're not allowed to have a cat, and you then move in, then the landlord is going to be looking and seeing if you're lying or if you actually got rid of the cat. And so I get that there would be more focus on you if you if you told the landlord about the cat, because but then again, like, well, this is again a man with a sword going after a cat, so. But what this person doesn't know would that would change the situation if this naked man with a sword doesn't know that there is a cat to be hunting down, then they wouldn't be hunting that cat down. So maybe don't mention it. I'm gonna go with that answer. If you have a cat, don't mention it to your landlord. Your landlord is probably not going to figure out that you have one. You can also keep the cat hidden. And the landlord never goes into your apartment anyways. And you can always just have curtains so that your landlord can't look into the windows. Like, you can find out how to do that. Of course, a cat will always go like in front of the curtains and find a way to look out the window anyways. But still, like, the chance that your landlord is going to find out, like, well, then if they find out, you can just say, oh, it's just visiting, that you're just, you know, babysitting the cat for your friend who has cancer or something. But, you know, you can always come up with a story, and, like, yeah. I don't know, but I'm gonna shuffle some more cards about how it's gonna be to move to this new place. Just, you know, some cards about the vibe, how the vibe is gonna be moving to this new place. Okay. Queen of Cups reversed. It's the little man in the boat, but it's reversed. So you're not going to be in a boat. And well, this could also mean that you're not going to have any moisture or any, humidity in, or you're going to have humidity. There's humidity everywhere, but there's not going to, it's not going to be so humid in your apartment that it's a problem, because of course if the levels of humidity is over 70%, then there's a very good likelihood that the apartment could develop black mold. And of course, living in an apartment with healthier humidity levels is good. So less water in the air, less moisture in the air, and I think that's good. It's a good sign. It's a good omen for moving somewhere. That's what we all want, I think, is to move somewhere where it's a healthy environment. Also, seems like you're not going to be in risk of a flooding, like that the apartment or the place that you're going to live in is going to be flooded with water either from the ceiling or from the ground. So that's good. With the Seven of Pentacles reversed, well, it says disco here on the card, and then there's a lot of zombie-looking people dancing to the music, or whatever, and this kind of makes me think that you're maybe not going to go out that much when you move to this new place, that maybe your clubbing life is maybe going to go downhill, but maybe that's okay. Like, maybe it's not necessary to have to go out in order to, have a good time. Maybe you're going to meet some friends or rekindle with some of your friends who are maybe more the types who like to, have a cup of coffee or something instead of going out drinking or something like that. And so that might make your life a little bit less, maybe less fun, but also less chaotic, and maybe it will make you feel a little bit more peaceful and maybe even calm your life down a little bit and calm you down and make things a little bit more at a pace that you feel more comfortable in. With the Ace of Pentacles, good omen for wealth. I feel like moving to this new place could be a good new chapter for, starting maybe a new business or starting at a new job that could pay more, or like that I feel like some financial opportunity is going to open itself to you, present itself to you, and I think it's going to be easier to say yes to this in your new place, maybe because you're going to be, closer to it, or it's going to just seem a little bit more tangible to start something there, financially or career-wise. It says hate on the card, and of course it's very common to hate your job. I feel like it's a bittersweet thing. Like if you start a new job, you're maybe going to hate it a little bit in the beginning, maybe because, I don't know, maybe if you do counseling or therapy, like it might be a little bit you know, tiring at first, or maybe you're going to be a little bit, you know, indifferent about some of the people that you are going to be guiding or helping through therapy, or I don't know what kind of job you're going to be doing, but maybe there's a part of you that's going to feel like some of your clients or some of your customers are a pain in the ass. And I think that is a very common feeling for everyone. But it's also like it's a man who's spreading flowers around, and yeah, again, it's ironic or whatever, but this could also suggest that you might have to, you know, get some curtains, because this is just a naked man enjoying himself, spreading flowers around, having the time of his life. And then there's a hate underneath, and it could also just be directed at him, like that people tend to hate on people who are just having a good time. And of course, they wouldn't be able to hate on you if they can't see you. If, for instance, like if you got curtains, like if you don't have any curtains, or if you feel like when you move to this new place that you are actually quite fond of the idea of not having curtains, because there's something very nice about, you know, sunlight and natural lighting, and yeah, waking up in the morning by the sun instead of, you know, whatever. I don't know, that some people have something against artificial lighting, and that's all. Yeah, I think there is also a lot of good coming from sunlight, but yeah, there is a loss of privacy that one has to also come to terms with if you make the decision to not have curtains. That people will look and might even, you know, talk about it, you know, like in Friends, you know, there is always that risk that people are going to point and laugh, even if you're not really doing anything other than walking around naked or having sex. Or I know I've seen people have sex out of the window when I lived in an apartment complex where there was where it was very much like you could see everything, and that. It wasn't gross or anything, but it was just like I felt like it was a little bit awkward, like it's a little bit, you know, like you're not supposed to look because, of course, you're like. This was when I was a child, though. Like, so, like it was when my family lived in an apartment complex. I've lived in many apartment complexes after that, but just not where I had a window like right in front of my window where I actually could see directly into somebody else's living room. And yeah, I get that it's a little bit like, you know, yeah, I'm just going to suggest curtains. So that's just what I wanted to say. So yeah, but it seems like this move is actually going to be nice. It seems like a beginning of a new chapter for you, and in most of this, it seems like a good reading. So yeah, I'm gonna end the reading here. Have a great day, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose the Alcohol Tarot, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question? For group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4, will group number 4 move in 2024? Will they change their location? Will they change their address in 2024? Yes, I feel like you're you're very likely to do so. It's a yes, but it's also a little bit of a maybe, because I feel like the majority of you, the common denominator for the whole group is that you're all going to get an offer. You're all going to get some kind of offer, either privately or in the mail or like in a conversation. Like someone is going to offer you to move in with them. Maybe someone has recently, lost their roommate, or their roommate moved out and they are in need of a new roommate, and they might, or this might not have happened yet. It's going to happen at some point in 2024 that someone is going to lose their roommate or have an opening up in their apartment complex, or someone is going to contact you and tell you that there is an opportunity to move into a place that you might have recently shown interest in. Like it's something that you have verbally told someone that you'd like to move there. Like if there was an opening, you would want to know. Maybe you have even applied for an apartment in an apartment complex, but there might be like a long wait list, and maybe you've been waiting for a long time, or maybe a short period of time. Like maybe you have only been on this wait list for a year or something, and maybe it's a wait list where it says that you can expect to wait 5 years or something. And so maybe you are not expecting this to happen so early. And maybe that could be the reason why you're maybe not gonna, some of you might not take this offer, that you might say no to this offer, maybe because the timing is off, maybe because it's gonna come at too short of a notice where you can't give them a yes answer, because it's going to stress you out to have to move out of your apartment and move into this apartment in such a short time, and that you're going to feel like it's unrealistic, or that it's just too much of a hassle, and so I feel like some of you are maybe going to say no. But the reason why I said yes in the beginning was because I feel like most of you are going to get the opportunity to move. Whether you're going to take it or not, that is entirely up to you. And you can change this as well. Like you can decide to take a chance on this, and when the offer comes, you can decide to say yes, even though it's going to be a hassle, even though it's short notice. You could say yes, and then you would be moving. And so I feel like this is actually good. This is actually what you want. So I'm kind of puzzled to why some of you are maybe going to consider saying no, when it seems like it's a dream come true for many of you, like that you've kind of talked about this with your friend or with someone from your family, or like that this is the ideal place for you to live, that this is where you always wanted to live. So, or something like that. But I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say. With the 4 of Cups, yeah, I'm sensing that that there's gonna be this great offer, because with the 4 of Cups, there's like this, like in the Rider-Waite tarot deck, there's an image of like this great offer coming in, symbolized as a cup coming in with like from the sky, like from this cloud that's like reaching out to this person who's sitting under a tree, and this person is just not really seeing how great of an offer this actually is, and is reconsidering because this person is content with what they have, and so maybe this is going to be you, that you're like when this offer comes, you're maybe going to be at a time in your life where you're actually content with the situation. Maybe right now you're not content with your living situation. Maybe right now you feel like you're kind of eager to move, but maybe 4 months from now, 5 months from now, 8 months from now, I don't know, you're maybe going to have a different mindset where you're maybe going to look at it differently, and maybe even maybe you're going to come to terms with where you live right now. Like maybe right now you have a hard time accepting that you're living in the place that you're living. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because you don't like this part of the city that you're living in, or maybe because you live, like if you live with your parents, then maybe you feel like it's less than what you feel like you should be doing, or like that maybe you're a little bit embarrassed with living with your parents, even though there's nothing to be embarrassed about. But maybe you're also going to come to terms with that. So maybe you're going to feel okay with it at the time when you're going to get this offer. You're maybe going to have had this epiphany where you realize that it's better to be surrounded by people you love than live alone in an apartment that you have always wanted to live in, or even live with someone. Like again, like I said, the roommate thing, and maybe you're gonna feel like this person who's gonna offer you to be their roommate is someone that you like. Maybe you're gonna wonder if this is worth it, because even though it's the place you want to live, it's the right location, but it might not be the right person giving you the offer. Like maybe you're gonna feel like you would rather be roommates with someone else, or maybe even live alone instead of living with this person. That maybe this person, like there might be something about this person that's gonna cause you to want to say no. Maybe because you can't imagine how it would be to live with this person. Maybe because this person is the opposite gender as you, and so you're maybe going to wonder if it's a good fit, if it's going to feel a little bit awkward or weird to live together. Maybe you're also going to feel like you're very different from each other, and that maybe it could cause you to have some arguments if you live together. I don't know. But I feel like this is giving a no energy, but it's giving a no energy from you. So like in a way, it's not going to be the surroundings that's going to give you a no. Like it's not going to be anybody else who's going to stop you from moving to a new location in 2024. Like nobody is going to be on the brakes and tell you that you can't move, or or you're not going to get like you're not going to get declined from like moving in somewhere, or like it's going to be completely up to you. So in a way, yeah, it's a yes or a no. It's going to be a maybe, because you have the power. You can make the decision that feels right for you. And so but I feel like you should consider this a little bit, because sometimes when you can't imagine living with someone, it's not because it's bad. Like, it could be good. It could be good that you two are so different that you maybe bring two very different things to the table. And if this is a boyfriend or girlfriend of yours and you're going to say no, maybe because you're going to feel like it's early or something, I don't know, then maybe reconsider it a little bit, because maybe it could be a good decision. Because I think at least consider it. I don't know if it's a good decision. I'm just feeling that those of you who are actually going to say yes, I feel like you're going to be happy with it. And I feel like those of you who are going to say no are maybe going to regret it a little bit in the future, that you didn't do it. Maybe you're always going to wonder what would have happened if you had like taken that chance. And especially if this is some kind of social thing, like if it's a roommate or more roommates, like if it's more people living together under the same roof, it might seem a little bit scary at first, and you might wonder like if the dynamic will work, like how it works to live so many people under the same roof. And maybe you're also going to wonder like, what about the bathroom facilities? Will you have to, share a bathroom with strangers, and like share a kitchen with strangers, and like isn't that going to be awkward? And like if you have those worries, like sometimes the biggest risk will give the biggest reward, and sometimes it's about like taking that step and maybe putting yourself outside your comfort zone, because there's also something good that could come out of it. You could get a lot better a better social life out of it. You could maybe even have more fun, because living with with other people, especially if you're living with 4 people or more, then it's like there's going to be a lot of getting together and like having some fun nights where you talk to each other and go through a lot of and even like board game nights and parties, and like it could be a good way to not feel lonely and feel a little bit more like you're a part of something. So just consider it. I'm going to shuffle some more cards just to see a little bit more about what's your living situation going to be like in 2024. Page of Spirits, which is Page of Swords reversed. So this could suggest that that you're maybe going to make a decision based on how how well you concentrate. And maybe you're going to feel like if you move to this new place, it's going to be very hard for you to concentrate or study or get your work done, that you're maybe going to feel like it's going to be interruptions and it's going to be distracting, and that people might not, respect that you need some time where you have to have a quiet time, and maybe you're going to feel like people won't respect your privacy as well, and maybe there are some things that you're worried about in terms of like when it comes to this offer that you're going to get in 2024. And I feel like they are valid worries. I think it's understandable to worry about these things because of course, if you live alone right now, it might not be an issue for you to study or to, write or to read or, but living with some other people who might want to party sometimes, and who might have, board game nights where they're going to be loud and stuff like that, could seem like a mouthful. Like it seems like a lot and could be overwhelming, and I understand that. And you should do what feels right for you, and I don't think you should compromise your path. If you're on a path that where you know that your peace and quiet is a big part of your path of where you're going in life, and that it's gonna disrupt your dream, or like if you feel like it could get in the way of you succeeding at your goal, then of course don't say yes to this. Then it's a too big sacrifice. So I understand why you would say no, but also remember that this could be something that could also give you something else, that could also be a part of your path, because it might get you very comfortable in sharing, for instance, like conversational sharing, getting better at talking to strangers and opening up to strangers, and maybe also guiding strangers. Because maybe like if your path is a path where you're gonna be working with people, then having some time where you live like in a collective or something like that, it could do good for you, and maybe give you some other some other skills that could also be important on your path. So I don't know. I'm gonna shuffle a little bit more about your living situation in 2024. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's a little bit too many cards, I get that. But with a glass of cups, a glass of wine, it's Ace of Cups. So I feel like if you moved, it could be the start of something that could be even the start of something blossoming between you and this person that's going to offer you to live with them. Maybe that's also what you're afraid of. Like if it's one of your friends who's going to offer you to be a roommate of theirs and move in with them, then you're maybe going to wonder if this person has, intentions other than just, being roommates. And if you have that intuitive thought before you say yes or no to the offer, maybe say no, because especially if you're absolutely not interested in getting it on with this person, then there could be some awkwardness that could develop because this person might have other ideas. And so if you I'm not sensing that this is for all of you, but for those of you where you can kind of tell that this person is a little bit clingy or has a weird way of asking you, like that if this person asks you and you can kind of tell that it's a weird way they are like wording it, like if instead of saying that they are looking for a roommate, they might say like, would you like to move in with me? And then maybe maybe this person will be using like a heart emoji or something, and it's gonna seem very suggestive maybe. And if that's the case, then you have the right to say no, because that seems a little bit creepy. So with the Empress reversed, well, I guess I guess these two cards could go kind of well together, where I think if this person, if someone offers you to move in with them and they seem to have intentions that are sexual, then being like the Empress reversed could be the answer. Like try to either make it very clear to them that you're not interested in a sexual way, maybe by even saying it to them, like maybe before you say yes or no to the offer, you could just ask them directly if they have some intentions or whatever. I don't know how you even have that conversation. I think it would always end up being awkward. But if it's someone that you feel like you can be honest with, then maybe just go for it. Like just ask them. And maybe also make it very clear that you're not into it, or or maybe do it in a way where you say, like, if they say, will you, or do you want to move in with me? I've recently lost my roommate, whatever. And then they do a lot of heart emojis and hearts with smileys emojis or whatever. Then you can just, reply with, I will consider it, my friend. Maybe it could strengthen our friendship to live together or whatever. Maybe not the last sentence, but make it very clear that it's just as friends. I don't know, but with a Wheel of Fortune reversed, don't take any gambles. If you get an offer that seems shady, not just this strange, love offer thing that's going to come from someone you know. Like if it's not that, if that's not what this is about, but if you get an offer to move somewhere, maybe through email or something, where you might have actually applied for an apartment somewhere. If there is something a little bit off about it, like if it seems shady, like if they say that there are a number of square meters, like on the application there was maybe like a certain number of square meters in the apartment, and then you go and see the apartment, and you can quite easily tell that it's half of what they said, what they declared in the application. If that's the case, like then like what else are they lying about? Because if they can lie about that, they can lie about everything. So be careful with anything that doesn't add up with reality, and always go see the apartment before you say yes to it. Always check it out, because they can be lying about everything, and they can be showing pictures of an apartment that is not adding up with how it actually looks in real life. And so get it checked out first. Even though it's maybe a place where you know some people who live there and might have even stayed there sometimes, like even if that's the case, like they could still try to scam you by offering you an apartment that's just like a closet, like it's the size of nothing. Like some people can, I don't know, just be careful with it. Yeah, make sure to check it out first. With the 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups reversed, I feel like your living situation is going to be, you living alone. I feel like for most of you, of course, I said yes in the beginning. I regret saying yes, but because I feel like now it's more leaning towards a no. But I will also admit if I'm wrong, and so I'm going to say it, that I think you're going to get an offer, and so you're going to get the opportunity to say yes, and so you're going to say no, I feel like. But it's up to you. It's your decision at the end of the day. And I think you're going to decide to be alone, live alone, or maybe not live in a two-party environment. With a 6 of Spirits, 6 of Swords, reversed. Well, this suggests that you're not going to go anywhere, that you're not going to move. If it had been upright, it would have said, then it would have been very clear that it would have been you moving out. But since it's reversed, it's the opposite. So you're not going to move. You're going to stay put and stay where you are right now. But yeah, I still want to emphasize that if you wanted to move in 2024, you would be able to. Like if you want to move in this year, you can. But I feel like it's also I feel like for most of you it seems like a proper decision. Like it seems logical to maybe say no to the offer that comes in, because it might not be that great. And of course you shouldn't just take whatever offer comes to you, like that. It's okay to wait for something better to come around. Like even if this is somewhere that you might have considered before and might actually have very high on your list of places that you want to live in, but maybe you're going to change your mind about that when you actually go there and see the apartment. It's gonna maybe be a little bit underwhelming, and and cause you to, you know, open your mind up to new options. So yeah, I don't think you're going to move this year, 2024, but you could move like later on. But I feel like it's good to wait until the perfect offer comes along. And so yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day, and bye.